Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you today as the XRP Ledger is moving into new territory. Amendments are being approved as we speak, and we've got a special guest with us, too. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.72 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 1.2 in the last 24 hours. 42,700 plus for Bitcoin, 2,300 plus for Ethereum. Tether market cap's 96.6 billion plus. XRP at the number 6 spot is 50 cents, almost on the nose. We're off by 3.6 on the 24 hour and off by 1.7 on the 7-day. The range of price very quickly is between 50 and 52, almost 53 cents. So it's popping around a little bit. But what we want to talk about today is Link2, ladies and gentlemen. And I got the one and only Nick Murafado, head of digital asset sales with us. Nick, how you doing today, man?
Hey, Brad. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for being here. So tell us the great news that we got coming to the Link2 platform today, Nick.
We do have some really good news. But before I explain it, though, Brad, in the recent news, Yahoo Finance had reported that Ripple had done a tender offer, which is nothing more than a buyback. They actually buy back shares from their early employees and their early investors, and what that does is it provides liquidity to those folks to so that they can access funds that they've been sitting on those shares for up to 12 years since Ripple was started. So Yahoo Finance had reported that, and it was it happened and it was over. But during that process, we were unable to get Ripple shares for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And it was so we had an unbelievable backlog of folks that were interested in making their first Ripple investment or making additional Ripple investments. But because that tender offer is over now, we were able to secure, actually we've got 3 blocks that we're going to release today. And what we're going to do is we're going to have these 3 blocks go live at independent times, because one of the things that we want to do, we've got members in over 100 countries and in different time zones around the world. So we want to make it available to as many people as possible. So and this is all Pacific time. So at 8 a.m. this morning Pacific time, 12 p.m. Pacific time, and 4 p.m. Pacific time today, we'll be releasing these blocks. They're not huge, but we'll release them, and they'll be at a discounted price, so people can come in and make their first Ripple investment or top off their current Ripple portfolio. But that's what we have going on today. We're really excited and happy to be able to bring that to our members.
I mean, what a remarkable offering. And look, I mean, we know that there's a window is closing, and I tell people all the time, and I want to remind them today, you can't go buy shares from Ripple. You're getting this stuff from shareholders, and that is so important because at some point we're going to get to this, kind of tug of war where they're not going to want to let these things go. That's why it took 6 weeks the last time, right?
Yeah, for sure. What I want a lot of our members and people that are thinking about becoming, investing members at Link2 to understand is when Ripple did this buyback, they only allowed their members to sell a very small percentage of their holdings.
That's right.
So it's not a huge liquidity event. I mean, it's not a huge an opportunity. So when we buy shares from those employees, we're able to buy, we're able to buy larger amounts than Ripple would do in a buyback, which allows them to access liquidity, because not all of those people, have the time horizon to wait for Ripple to go public. And that's what we do, is we come in and help them with that. And then we go ahead and make the offering available to our investors.
People helping people, great things happening there. Now, there's also another great announcement going on, too, and it involves XRP Las Vegas. Tell us about that, Nick.
Absolutely. So we're so excited. Link2 is incredibly excited to be one of the sponsors of XRP Las Vegas, along with some of the other huge sponsors that you have. And we're really, really excited about that. So, shout out to all of our members. We're going to be there in Las Vegas at XRP Las Vegas. And, Brad, I want to talk about a couple of things about XRP Las Vegas, but the first thing I want to say is this, is over the last 2 years I've been at Link 2, I've had a lot of Link 2 member meetups. And in speaking to our investors about joining us at these meetups, a lot of people tell me, it's not my personality. I really don't like to get out much. It's not my thing. And I encourage them to come out and meet like-minded people. And they end up coming and have the greatest time. And what I would tell people is, look, if you're into XRP, if you're into Ripple, if you've been following this thing, and you think that, attending XRP Las Vegas isn't the right fit for your personality, you're wrong. You're going to have the greatest time. You're going to meet like-minded people. If you're a Link 2 investor, you're going to meet all of the executives at Link 2, and we're going to have actually two special functions. So let me tell you about that.
Yeah.
So we're going to have the day before XRP Las Vegas, which is May 3rd and 4th, correct?
Yes.
We're going to have on the 2nd, May 2nd, so anybody that's booking your flights, Link 2 members, on May 2nd, we're going to have a Link 2 Las Vegas investor conference at lunchtime. So on May 2nd, that will be open to all Link 2 members. So if you're in the Las Vegas area, if you're attending XRP Las Vegas, you will be invited. Invitations will be going out, so no need to reach out to us. We'll be sending out invitations in the next couple of weeks. The other event we're going to have is that evening, the evening of May 2nd, we're going to have a very special Team Apollo members event. And if anyone out there has ever been to one of our Team Apollo events, they're awesome. Our last one we had was right before the Ripple proper party in New York City. We had about 180 people there. And it ends up being just the greatest time. It's an all-out party environment, and it's a great opportunity to meet the Link 2 people, to meet other investors from around the world. So that will be taking place too. And Team Apollo members, you will be getting invites as well in the next couple of weeks. So 2 events we'll be having during XRP Las Vegas. We're really, really excited.
That is super exciting. Nick Murafado from Link 2. Thank you for stopping by, Nick.
Thank you, Brad.
Take care. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Murafado right here laying it down. Link 2 is going to be there in a big way. This is going to be so good. We got so much more good news coming for you. But look, just like this, you can't stop the flood. Institutional capital is coming to Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to play this because there's some music in it, and I'm not sure if it's a copyright issues, but it is basically saying there's no stopping the flood of institutional capital that is coming to Bitcoin, and I absolutely believe that that is what we're seeing. And after 7 years at Ripple, it is time to say goodbye and embark on a new adventure for Naveen Gupta. Grateful to work with Ripplers in building the Internet of Value. A big thank you to Chris Larson for your vision, Brad Garlinghouse, and Monica Long for leading us. And you know what? Shout out to you. We are wishing you all the success in your next endeavor. Thank you for all you do, Naveen. And you know what? I couldn't be more excited to see where he's going to land, because at the end of the day, he might move somewhere where it ties into what we're doing here. But I wanted to play this quick clip here about Naveen Gupta and just some of the work he's been a part of. Take a listen.
Partnering with those more traditional banks.
So today, most of the cross-border business is dominated by banks or PSPs. So they own 100% of the market. And that's what we are after, because what we are doing is we are changing the plumbing, which is the old plumbing, and replacing it with the post-internet era plumbing. And with that, the same financial institutions could be instant, they could be error-free, and they can make sure that they're able to provide the service to Elizabeth in a very transparent manner. So when you send your dirhams back to GBP in London, you should exactly know how much money will get delivered back home. And that's what we can do today with our existing financial institutions. Also, we're able to use cryptocurrency, XRP, which is a bridge asset, to provide liquidity on demand. So one of the reasons remittances are so expensive is because they use something called as a pre-funded Nostro account. Once that cost is taken away from the financial institution, that means they can fund on demand. They would be able to provide much better service and cheaper service to their customers like Elizabeth.
No doubt about it. And you know what? And this is tied in with Mr. Mann sharing here that we covered yesterday. The UAE has successfully executed its inaugural cross-border transaction of the digital dirhams, transferring $50 million worth $13.6 million via the mBridge CBDC platform to China. Now, we can't know this 100%, but we have covered in this before. James Wallace from Ripple has told us that mBridge is at least one of the pilot. XRP Ledger is one of the mBridge pilots being considered at the BIS. Take a listen.
right? We're using the same technology that is with the XRP Ledger. The token would be the CBDC, right? So the central bank would actually create their own token, a digital euro, digital dollar, whatever the market is, and that becomes the digital asset.
So that becomes a digital asset. Keep listening.
The native coin.
The native coin, yeah. Now, where XRP could come into play potentially is when you're looking at cross-border CBDC. So when you have a digital dollar and you have a digital, real, or digital pound, you obviously need to have some way to interact cross-border. Yeah. So I think the BIS call this a multi-CBDC model. One of the ideas is you use a sort of a neutral bridge currency to go from one to the other, similar to the model I explained earlier with our on-demand liquidity.
And there you have that, right? So there's the evidence of that. We just need to find out whether there's more than one possible mBridge solution other than the XRP Ledger, right? Very exciting stuff. And we have even more exciting stuff. Now, we know that we recently had the clawback amendment go above 82%. And if it continues to hold that till February 8th, that will become a part of the XRP Ledger. And we have even more news as users can now deploy smart contracts on the XRP Ledger through this Ripple partnership, which is really Purist, right? And we know about the Hooks Ledger, but this is actually the article that's referencing Purist and the work that's been done there. So this is extremely exciting, and we're not done with you yet either. So Purist making ways for smart contracts to be used and integrated with the ledger. Then we have this. That was quick. The activation flag for automated market makers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, AMMs, automated market makers for the XRP Ledger is set. We have all yes votes needed. The automated market maker is officially coming, and its activation period will happen on February 14th. We are sitting at 82% right now, as Daniel from Casino Coin and X-Spectre and Dirk have all voted yes. This is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. She says here, my apologies, the XRP Ledger AMM amendment has 30 yays, not 29. The 30th one came from X-Spectre and Dirk, so we're very, very excited that the community has rallied here. And for those who don't know why the AMM amendment is a big deal for the XRP Ledger ecosystem, this is a great overview here from Ashley Prosper. If the automated market maker amendment indeed went live on the XRP Ledger on February 14, 2024, it would represent a significant development within the ecosystem. We're talking enhanced liquidity. By implementing an AMM system on the XRP Ledger, it could lead to increased liquidity for various assets traded on the platform. Automated market makers allow users to provide liquidity to pools, enabling more efficient trading without the need of traditional order books. This is one of the things I have talked about a lot. AMMs creating the liquidity pools so you're not pulling directly on the order books, right? This is how you become a stabilization mechanism introduced into the XRP and how it operates. Well, this changes the integrity and characteristics of how this system operates forevermore once this is in place. It's so exciting to me. Decentralized exchange functionality, integration of AMM functionality directly into the XRPL could pave the way for development of decentralized exchanges on the XRP Ledger network. This would allow users to trade digital assets directly on the blockchain without relying on centralized exchanges. Again, taking you outside of driving up the order books, right? Lower costs, AMMs typically operate with lower fees compared to traditional exchanges, as they remove the need for intermediaries and utilize automated algorithms to facilitate trades. This could potentially result in lower trading costs for users on the XRPL. Improved accessibility. Decentralized exchanges powered by AMMs can improve accessibility to financial services for users worldwide, particularly those who may not have access to the traditional banking infrastructure, and innovation and experimentation. The introduction of an AMM amendment to the XRPL opens up opportunities for innovation and experimentation within DeFi space. It says developers and entrepreneurs can explore new use cases and applications leveraging AMM functionality. I hope that helps. It certainly does, actually, and I think it's a great overview. And I also want to add to this, think about when we get clarity in the financial system and how excited the financial system will be to use something knowing that they're not pinched up against the traditional order books or centralized exchanges to be able to use this asset for financial settlement of payments every day around the world. Now let's look at this guy. Shout out to Sean McBride here. Ex-Ripple, ex-Google, ex-Amazon. And he says here, some people just don't want or just don't understand the amount of money invested in crypto outside the U.S., especially in the SE, Southeast Asia, and UAE, where they are so much further ahead in terms of institutional adoption, government regulation framework. Those that serve a specific purpose, and i.e. XRP, are already being adopted and utilized successfully. By next year, every bank in Japan will be using XRP for cross-border payments alone. How about that one? I think Sean's bullish, and so am I. But this is why I asked the question, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going away just because a few people say we can't ask it. The World Bank says that XRP and XLM are stable coins. The BIS said stable coins can have a stabilization mechanism. It doesn't necessarily have to be a peg. I asked myself, with the introduction of automated market makers, could it change the integrity and definition to the financial system and regulators around the world to the characteristics and integrity of what XRP actually is? And are we about to see a break in price? Take a look at it. This is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. We could wick down to 41.39 cents. Those are the calls. But the reality is there's a new all-time high headed our way. Very grateful for Egg Rag Crypto and all the other technical analysts in this space that shared their information with us. They're not making predictions. They're just showing us what the leading indicators are suggesting on the charts. The next short-term target is the all-time high of $5. If we adjust the original wave count, it could be in the range of 220 to 280. That's what we could be looking at. And there are so many massive moves forward going on right now in this ecosystem of XRP and the Ledger and all these amendments. I am so excited for what's to come. We're going to head into the Freedom Zone. You guys know how this goes here. Today, we're going back down the rabbit hole that is ETHgate. We can't take the risk of the censorship and the shadow banning, so I hope you will join us. Go to digperspectives.com and come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.